Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Sam Stocks. I think it came out great. We're going to be having some more guests on in the next couple of weeks, but let's keep things rolling here.
But before we go right there, for all of our YouTube listeners, you're going to have to go to Podbean or our iTunes account to listen to our first ever
I made a boo-boo.
interview.
I made a boo-boo.
No, it's all right, but no, that just gives everybody kind of, to show that we are on multiple platforms, and if you could just spread the word and share it with one friend, we appreciate it. So for that interview, make sure you go over to
voiceofbedlam.com.
voiceofbedlam.com.
All right, but with that now, the owner meetings have finally concluded. There was a lot of talk, a lot of different proposals. We went into a lot of them. I did a post called The 7 NFL Rule Changes up at sportsrants.com. I published it on Wednesday morning before the other meetings had closed, and then they added some more rule changes. So when it came out, when it was published, everything in it was correct. But in the end, I say that they did not approve the the ejection rule for the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
But it turns out on day 3 they did. They're putting that into play this year, but it's just gonna. Or no, that's not something else. Something else is going to be a trial. Never mind.
It's 2 personal fouls, right?
No, it's not 2 personal fouls. 2 unsportsmanlike conducts.
2 unsportsmanlike. Okay.
Yeah. So now you're going to get ejected. A lot of people have nicknamed it the yellow card rule, like in football.
Thank
Europe.
you.
Football Europe.
It's just football, all right? American football and football. We don't gotta even use quotations either. It's just a football. Or
John's trying to culture me.
If you want to get cultured, most people say football.
Football. But isn't that kind of just making fun of somebody's accent?
No, man, I don't think so. That's how I learned their language, in a sense, or their dialect, I should say. So, if anything, it's like, it's flattery, because it's like, hey, I'm trying to, mimic your tone and your afflection. So I'm trying to meet you more than halfway for the communication process.
Another rule change that was also approved, which I think is the craziest, is the touchback is now the 25-yard line. Now, everything we were saying on the last podcast, how I was against it, but then people are talking about squib kicking it. Everybody's talking about that, and now this is only going to be for a year. This is an experiment, just like the extended 15, the extra point that was extended by 15 yards last year. Now that's 100% official. This is also just a trial. They're saying it's for safety, but at the same time, it looks like that it might cause some more collisions, because teams might be trying to almost pooch punt it or squib kick it, try and pin them, and then it kind of defeats the purpose. But if they do that, I think that would be exciting.
Yeah, I think you're right. The squib is going to be used a lot on the kickoff. And not only that, it's going to force your punter to really, really hit those corners and really pin people, because... Well,
do you think people are going to put their punter out there instead of the place kicker? Because, the place kicker would be the one who would kick it, not the punter.
Well, there's 2 people. Well, other than, you got 2 people that will be affected mostly. It'll be the kickoff itself.
Yeah.
So the kicker,
yeah.
and then you got the punter, who, when it becomes a field possession thing and you're on the 45, you want to pin them beyond the 20, within the 20, so that you avoid the touchback coming out to that 25.
Now, if this rule sticks, if they keep going with it, do you think maybe we're going to start seeing place kickers weaned out, and punters are going to be doing strategical or placing the ball off the kickoff, like trying to do coffin corner kicks? Do you think place kickers are going to lose a job? Punters will take over?
I don't. Yeah, it's gonna. You're gonna see
more of a directional specialist, like your punter.
I'll tell you right now, there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be looking for that rugby style kicker more so.
Yeah, exactly, and he could probably do both.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Because that rugby style kick is, very ergodynamic once it hits the air, because it's a perfect spiral most times, and you can really put a spot on that ball. just like how the soccer kickers, were awesome at kicking field goals.
Now, I understand.
Because I gotta still say soccer because next to this guy, I will say a football kicker, even though he would look at me like I'm a weirdo. But the football kickers, is transition to the field goal. So you got a football style kicker kicking field goals, and you got a rugby style kicker kicking punts, and that's.
I understand the two are very different, but so many other positions are starting to get spliced together. So why not the kicking position? And that would almost give you like an extra roster spot if you had a dude doing both. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're gonna. Well, you're gonna have to get a hybrid kicker as as the years develop. But there's there's not too many hybrid kickers out there right now that are.
Well, there might be though. I mean,
because the last kicker I known personally that kicked the the kickoff and field goals was John Casey. But you're talking about somebody that also didn't do punts. So you're talking about you need two kickers. Always, because I don't know, man. Yeah,
your special teams core guys.
Because if that's the case, think about how smart teams would be to be like, "Yo, I just saved a lot of space on my team by just switching to one kicker."
Well, that's basically what I'm saying. And if they're going to change the place kick like this, and you got all these trick type kickers not trick, but specialty type kickers, there's got to be people out there that can do both.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's probably the most special teams has ever been talked about in the history of anything.
Yeah.
So let's get past that one and let's move on to the last one we're going to touch on today, which I don't really know how to title it, but basically the temporary IR tag where you could come back like 8 to 10 weeks, whatever it was, because when you're put on IR, your roster spot can then be filled by someone else, opposed to like if you're just injured, do you know what I mean? You're still holding a roster spot. So every team had the one temporary IR spot where, say you got injured, when I put you on IR, I said you are designated to return, and then you would come back if you were physically able. Now that is staying, but what's going to change? What's going to change is that you don't have to say it when you put the player on IR. Any person who is on IR, one of them, you could choose any of them, can come back, and you don't have to say it when you put the tag on them initially. It could come down the road. If somebody heals quicker than expected and you thought they were going to be out the whole year and it turns out they're only going to be 10 weeks, you could say, now he's our temporary IR.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
Do it after the fact.
Like that. Because,
I like it as well.
Because if, you can come back and you're medically cleared to come back, having that tag on you is like, oh, well, I get more time, I guess, but now you can come back and be an asset. Like, because I thought about that because I was like, man, when I saw that rule change, I was like, man, Calvin Benjamin probably could have played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess if they didn't end up using the temporary IR tag on anyone else, because you still are only getting one. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But if they would have never used it, you could do something like that. Yeah. So say a team who's maybe their quarterback or something like that, do you know what I mean? Where it looked like they were going to be out the rest of the season.
Tony Romo.
Yeah. And but they waited. Did they even ever put him on IR? They were holding off so long. I don't remember if they actually did.
I think the last 2 or 3 games he was
Well, that would make sense because,
he was
and
done.
The season was over too.
Yeah, it was done.
All right.
I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. The Panthers kind of put him out again on Thanksgiving Day, just to rub it in just a little bit. It feels so good to say it, though. Oh my goodness, because there's nothing better, than a big foot to your throat than saying, "Hey, America's team, we're the Carolina Panthers, and we just beat you on Turkey Day." So now you can go brine your turkey with all your salty tears.
You're starting to sound like Mr. Garrison over there.
I know. We're gonna start. Maybe we should just do voices now and stuff. Although I was thinking about for later on in the year. Maybe doing a because my friends think I do this like weird voice, which I think is kind of funny. It's like a lady that smoked, like an old lady that smoked way too many cigarettes.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So
Listen here, darling. I thought about it, and I think I'm gonna just bring out this character once in a while, and I want the listeners to come out and give me a name. All right. Just know this about me. I like to smoke Pall Mall cigarettes, non-filter. All right, non-filter. Don't give me no filter, darling, because that's not for this lady here. Let me tell you. So, make sure you come up with a name for me. I'll be waiting.
There you go. Now,
but I'm thinking for like in the year, like when we do like picks and stuff, we can do like let the listener choose her name and then like
And have her give her
have her do her pick. So
that's
like,
all right. So listeners,
so it gives me a chance to be like schizophrenic in a sense and be like, hey, I have other picks, guys, or no, like it'd be like group picks or something. I don't know.
yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, just like football, baby.
Yeah, you know what?
DDF,
But yeah, I think Football Baby was pretty decent at picks. But you know what? I think this with like an old lady, it brings more wisdom than a baby.
Oh, all right, nice little twist there. All right, but
With all respects and all due respects to Mr. Dave Damashek.
now, real quick, before we wrap things up here, we briefed over it in the interview, but didn't really talk about it in the news. RG3 is with the Browns.
2 years, man. I think it was what, like 15 mil or something like that.
I don't even remember. I saw it. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I know there was a nice sign on bonus. So good for you, RG. But you don't have too much weapons going on other than Duke Johnson right now. And I feel bad because I thought that for sure Travis Benjamin was going to stay. You got Josh Gordon coming back, and let's see what happens. I'm hoping for the best because, I always like to kind of see an underdog story happen because that's kind of like what happened with the Panthers in a sense because, I was there when we drafted Mr. Alcoholica. Kerry Collins, which I know that name brings a lot of disdain to you wearing the royal blue over here.
He took us to the Super Bowl, man. He killed us single-handedly.
Yeah,
but he did get us there.
Yeah, he's like, hey guys, I take you to the show and do nothing with it. Thank you.
It was like all 4 of the Buffalo Bills Super Bowls.
Where's
in
my
one.
beer?
It was all 4 of them. But yeah, I mean, RG3 has been on a steady decline. He didn't suit up once this year, but that's not for that wasn't for playing. But they didn't want to have to guarantee his contract and all that. But he still didn't take a snap in a game. All right, the year before that, he only went in 2014. He went 2-5. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Coming down from 9-6 as a starter in 2012 with the Rookie of the Year playoff appearance, falling to Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Also where he tore up his knee and things have never been the same.
Yeah, it's gonna be he's gonna have a lot of knee issues because now he's in that cold weather in Cleveland.
No, I didn't even think
and
that. Very true.
He's going against Pittsburgh. And it's a short drive, but it's still cold. Because you got that lakefront, man. I've spent a couple days. I spent some time with some homies out in Cleveland, and I spent some time. I toured actually out in Pittsburgh. I don't remember the name of the place, but it was like right in on the harbor. It was brick at night, and it was in the summer. So I was like, dang, man, this is summer to these guys. Like, this is terrible. But it's so you're talking about a lot of cold weather, and just speaking from my experience, the cold weather to my previous injuries from sports, I feel like an old man sometimes when it hits. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be cold, guys. And they're like, how do you know that? It's like, oh, it's gonna rain. Yep. Yeah. My knee is acting up. It's gonna rain.
So when do you turn 54? Are you turning now? 54?
Oh yeah, right. Well, yeah, don't remind me. I'm turning big 3-0 now. I'm turning 30, dude. It's scary. It's like now I'm like gonna have to start vitamin up more and glucosamine and
there's so many people listening right now that you are pissing off. They're like 30 ain't old.
Yeah, well, when you play the sports that I did, like lacrosse, basketball, it was like really hard on my joints. So I'm glad I stopped when I did, but like, oh man, those sports are just terrible for your joints.
Well, getting back to RG3,
Yeah.
have you ever seen the
he's gonna get
Cleveland
hurt?
Browns shirt where it's just the never-ending list of names of quarterbacks?
Yeah, I just saw it.
So
actually,
is he going to be just another name on the shirt, or is he going to take them somewhere? Is he going to be the last name on the shirt?
I think this is what's going to happen. I think that RG3 has the shot to really do something over there and kind of almost be like a breath of fresh air to that franchise.
Not where I was going, but go ahead.
Because think about it symbolically, okay? You're talking about the Browns, who are commonly known as the Brownsteins, all right? The dog pound days of the Browns have been long gone and out of the memory of everybody that's still living. So, with that being said, you got an area that was devastatedly hurt economically because of the loss of industry there.
Yeah, with the stock market.
And because they were an industrious town, they were
Just like Detroit.
Exactly. So that whole area is just impoverished now because the jobs left. So you got that, and then not only Cleveland's got Braun. They got Braun with the Cavaliers.
He's pouting a little.
Yeah, he is pouting a little. So
His Twitter's all over the news. It's a busy day in sports when the top story is LeBron James not following the Cavaliers anymore.
yeah,
Stupid.
So with that being said, RG3 is rebounding his career, and these Cleveland Browns are trying to rebuild and rebound their franchise. So, that's it. It's a good move. I think it just symbolically it makes sense.
It's a good move for RG3 because he's going to get paid again. Outside of that, I don't see it as a good move.
I could see him doing all right as
I
long
don't
as they
think
give
so.
him
No,
somebody to throw to.
I think he's too fragile. He's a quarterback. I mean, can he even do it? We didn't even see him for a year, and the last time we saw him, he was terrible.
I think with all the time off, he's gained enough time to get himself healed up enough. Learn from other people's mistakes down there in Washington, and now maybe move this Cleveland franchise into somewhat of out of the laughing stock of the league.
As far as him learning, I'm going to just throw something out there, and I hope it makes sense. Me personally, if I'm pissed off, if I'm angry, I'm going to be closed-minded, shut off, rebellious, all that stuff.
He's a graduate of Baylor.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to tell me after everything that was going on in Washington, he wasn't accepting criticism. Do you know what I mean?
He took it on the chin.
I don't think he can. I don't know,
He
dude.
took a lot of that on the chin, man.
Notes in
He
his
took a
locker and
lot of
anything.
that on
How
the chin.
open to Gruden's suggestions? He thinks Gruden's ruined his career. How open to Gruden's corrections is he going to be as criticisms? Is he going to take pointers from Kirk Cousins?
Ultimately, your
How
coach
much
is
did he
going
learn?
to make the decision who's going to be starting quarterback. So
Well, that's what I'm saying. He seemed like he was mad. I don't think he learned anything this past year. I think he was closed off, shut down. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think he had a chance to grow, at least over this past year.
Because they
I
didn't
think he
give him
was
a chance.
angry. Well, you could say that too, but I think he wasn't open to being the backup. I mean, when Colt McCoy is starting over you, well, that was 2 years ago, but
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I
true.
mean? Like, he wasn't happy about that. They were open about it not being happy with that. I just don't think he was listening to what they were saying, and he's going to learn anything from what happened.
Well, time will tell, what's going on, but I think, with all that animosity that you just brought up, he's going to even have more fuel to take into next season and try to prove to his team. It's like, look, I'm putting up numbers right now, and you had me riding on the bench. What better middle finger to the face could you do?
Oh, you know what else though? Sean was saying we got to double check this, but I think the NFC East plays the AFC North this year, which means the Browns would be playing the Redskins.
That could be a wonderfully dramatic build-up.
All right. Well, we're going to do our homework on that one, see if we're right.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
All right. How's everybody doing out there today? Thanks for tuning in to this special edition Voice of Bedlam podcast. If you want to take that next jump with your business or company, you need to come over and advertise on the Voice of Bedlam podcast. Get your ad heard by thousands on a reoccurring basis. Just click buy now and send us your info. Thanks a lot, guys.